Imagine existing in 9 overlapping variations of Detroit at the exact same time. For Tolo Bios, a traveler navigating the complex multiverse of Jaglavak 1963, holding on to reality is a constant waking struggle. Crossing between these dimensional planes isn't a smooth transition. Without a tether, the sudden violent shifts in atmospheric pressure and local physics tear at the human body. If a traveler's mind snaps during an unanchored jump, they experience what's known as a bacchanal frenzy, a psychological trauma that completely shatters their perception of reality. Right now, Tolo is being dragged across realities for a command performance. He has to tune a dimensional contraption while confronting alternate universe versions of the people he loves. Surviving these relentless dimensional jumps demands 2 things: heavily modified retro-futurist vehicles to act as physical shields, and highly curated musical playlists to anchor the soul. In this deeply hostile multiverse, getting from point A to point B is a matter of protecting your flesh. But music? Music is the ultimate technology for cognitive survival. Tolo's journey begins at a reality nexus, boarding a vehicle known as the Iron Pimp. It's a heavily converted 1980s transit bus built to withstand cross-dimensional transit. This animated data chart compares Earth metrics to his destination, dark Vegas, Detroit. Adjusting to lower gravity and denser air, the alien physics overlap with his cognitive stability threshold. You can see that line dangerously drop, eroding Tolo's psychological stability. To counter this, his crew deploys a literal acoustic tether. A carefully mixed, multi-hour house music DJ set is blasted to stabilize the immediate environment. Using a cheap electronic drum kit as a physical interface, the crew actively tunes the local reality, keeping their dimensional bubble intact as the bus travels. Out here, music operates as a physical law. It generates a localized gravity where the universe's natural physics fail. At City Sky Harbor, the logistics get even more complex. After a quick flight in a rehabbed DC-3 plane, Tolo transfers into a solar-powered vintage Chrysler Newport. As they descend into the heavy, neon-lit smog of Pendragon Hedgeman's Detroit, these classic terrestrial cars blend seamlessly into an advanced, highly lethal sci-fi transit network. The constant audio playback inside the vehicle generates something the travelers call My Square, a protective psychic bubble surrounding the occupant. Specific audio tracks are weaponized to keep this square secure. Everything from heavy dubstep remixes to classic Bruce Springsteen anthems act as a repellent against timeline glitches and hostile psychic entities. The vintage aesthetics of these terrestrial vehicles serve a distinct, practical purpose. Paired with the right rhythm, they function as Faraday cages for the human soul. This same principle scales all the way up to deep space. De Baroque Negus is a massive pleasure barge, 750 meters long and weighing 500,000 tons. Operating on the exterior hull, Tolo pilots a heavily armored articulated nacelle tractor through the deep, freezing void of the inner planets. He is there to assist with the water remix cycle. A massive volume of water, roughly the size of a lake, unnaturally flows upwards along the ship's metallic bulkheads, completely defying gravity. Dozens of scientists and crew members gather on the decks below, watching this massive, cosmic-scale manipulation of physics with a mixture of terror and awe. To process a visual that breaks the laws of nature, the crew relies on constant music, specific vocal tones, and rhythmic chanting to maintain their operational sanity. Whether you are navigating a dangerous city block or the hull of a 500,000-ton space barge, the human mind requires rhythmic anchors to process impossible cosmic events without breaking. Those measurements of gravity and air density Tolo records are actually indicators of the local consensus reality, a multiverse built from raw emotion, memory, and shared trauma. These collective emotions dictate the local physics. This is why tuning the environment with music works. Tesseracts, or interdimensional portals, are spatial anomalies triggered spontaneously by intense nostalgia. Even a mundane, misplaced artifact, like a forgotten pair of 1993 sneakers, holds enough emotional weight to shift the consensus and cause an accidental reality switch. Because emotion is the core architectural element here, Ordinary commercial spaces and department stores often serve as the accidental nexuses for these multiversal shifts. To survive, travelers separate the journey into two parts. Physical vehicles traverse the literal distance, while musical tethers navigate the emotional distance between these fractured memories. Tolo Bias navigates the fragmented frequencies of his own psyche, using these ancient vehicles and playlists to reach the only destination that remains constant: home.